Hey guys, Seth Brunson again here, systems engineer with IMPRES Technology Solutions. And today I wanted to take just a few minutes to talk to you about an exciting cybersecurity solution from our friends over at Titania. So let's go ahead and jump right in. So at a really high level, there are 4 basic categories or technologies that people use to secure their networks. And in a perfect world, you would have multiple tools for each of these categories. So we have monitoring, which provides a live view of current activity on your security systems. Basically, monitoring includes any technology that sits on your network and monitors systems or network activity. So this is going to include email gateways, web filtering, intrusion prevention systems, and firewalls. Monitoring systems are good at detecting active attacks or malicious activity. So these monitoring tools will do stuff like actively alert you and prevent attacks as they are happening. Scanners provide a helicopter view of security systems. So they lead with discovering what's on your network and normally provide externally based security insights using that generated security data. In other words, they interrogate, attack, or exploit your systems to generate security data, which they then analyze and extrapolate into meaningful results. This is what a lot of pen testers use to run simulated attacks on your network. Then we have configuration auditing. This is where Titania fits in. So this provides a granular view of your security systems. Basically, they analyze internal system information already present on your data center and client devices, like your configurations, your operating system data, and they deliver the results along with specific directions on how to fix any issues. So this is more of a preventative activity to make sure your systems are configured as securely as they can be. Sort of like if you have a really fancy home security system, but you never changed the default password so everyone can still get in. And I'll show you how Titania does this in just a minute. And then we have SIM solutions like Splunk or Logarithm. So these provide the executive summary of your current security risks by refining key information from different technologies and data sources together into a unified big picture. They are particularly helpful for bigger enterprises since they provide a way of viewing security, risk, and compliance issues from levels of data that could otherwise be overwhelming. Essentially, these systems scan your log files from thousands of devices, and you get to decide what to do with that data. This could be useful for all sorts of things, from configurations to attack notifications and prevention, even to optimizing your systems. So again, Titania is in the configuration auditing and analysis category, and they are a leader in this category. They're currently protecting over 27 million end users in 95 countries, and their software helps people identify risks in their devices like firewalls, switches, routers, workstations, servers, and laptops. And they deliver a level of detail and accuracy that previously only manual penetration testing could achieve. And it does it on an enterprise scale and considerably faster than a manual pen test. Most of our customers are required to have full on-site pen testing done at least once a year, but they can use this software to help make sure they don't have as many surprises when those expensive pen testers actually show up. They essentially have 2 products. We have Nipper and Pause. Nipper helps you reduce false positives and negatives while providing detailed configuration audits of your firewalls, your switches, and your routers. So you can strengthen and secure your vital network devices. And in other words, you use this to make sure your network devices are configured in the most secure way possible. It's just auditing. Pause analyzes the build configurations of your workstations, laptops, and servers against your industry standards to help you with compliance, prioritize system updates, and to secure your devices. An easy way to remember which one of these does what is Nipper starts with an N, and so does networking. So Nipper covers your networking. And I actually have no idea what pause means, but it doesn't do networking. Let's go ahead and dig into each of these a little bit more. Nipper Studio discovers misconfigured networking systems. So it's looking for vulnerabilities in your firewalls, your switches, and your routers. And one thing I really like about this stuff is it doesn't crawl through your network looking for weak spots. Instead, you feed it config files from your network devices and it audits them, producing a detailed report. This offline auditing means no traffic is generated by the audit, and there's no need to plug anything into your network. These are definite pluses for anyone working in high security environments. So Nipper discovers vulnerabilities in firewalls, switches, and routers, automatically prioritizing risks to your organization. Its virtual modeling reduces false positives and identifies exact fixes to help you stay secure and compliant. So it's going to help you audit every device accurately every time. Basically, it analyzes the configurations and interactions of your network infrastructure, sort of like doing your own penetration testing. And Nipper's accuracy can save you up to 3 hours per audit per device, which can really add up. Here are some of the features. So you can customize the audit. You can choose if you want to audit your device configs, the general security of your devices, or an overall vulnerability or compliance audit. It's got easy to understand reporting, so you can quickly see where your security gaps are. You can schedule your audits if you want, and it has built-in SIM integration, so you can couple this with Splunk or Logarithm or whatever, and it'll run audits based off of events from those logs. And the best part, it gives you exact technical fixes, so you know exactly how to fix whatever problem was found. And you can customize just about anything, including what priority any result is given. Here's an example audit report. And you can see it's pretty easy to read with different priorities here, what the issue is, and a precise recommendation for how to fix it. So you can see this example here. There was a user with dictionary-based passwords, which is a critical rating, and the recommendation is to configure a better password. We've also got some issues with the default SNMP community strings, the BGP neighbors with no passwords, things like this. But the point is, it tells you the rating and it tells you exactly how to fix these problems and which devices were affected. And again, these results are pulled based off of whatever compliance standards you specify, like STIG, CIS, PCI, stuff like that, whatever's important to you. So a lot of people just use vulnerability scanners to check and audit the strength of their network security. But if you remember from my first slide, scanning alone is not a complete solution. So basically, these network devices are configured using interfaces like command line or web GUIs, and that configuration is held by the device internally, so it's available after a power cycle. The configuration tells the device how to perform its duties, like routing network packets or turn on statistics, enable alarms, stuff like that. So getting these configs set correctly is a big deal. And these configs are usually set according to specific standards, like DISA-STIGs. So STIGs, for example, contains technical guidance to lock down systems or software that might otherwise be vulnerable to a malicious attack. So anyways, as part of a pen testing configuration audit, people will check to see if your devices stick to the desired policy. And to make this easier, a lot of these pen testers use software that does a whole bunch of different scans at once. But this can deliver poor accuracy. Not every security issue can be detected this way, and it also generates network traffic that looks a lot like an attacker trying to probe the device for weaknesses and vulnerabilities. Scanning software solutions look at external data rather than the internal configuration of your devices. So basically, vulnerability scanning aims to identify any systems that are subject to known vulnerabilities, while a penetration test aims to identify weaknesses in specific system configurations and organizational processes and practices that could potentially be exploited to compromise security. But still, scanners are an important technology when looking at application layer vulnerabilities, particularly in web applications. But when it comes to assuring network equipment with embedded configurations, scanning does not offer the same quality of outcome. And here's a basic list of what you get using just scanners versus using the full Nipper Studio. So long story short, if you want to do this right, you should be running vulnerability scanners to check for known issues, but you should also be using something like Nipper to check for weaknesses in your system configs. So where Nipper checks your networking devices, Pause Studio is basically a compliance auditing tool for workstations, servers, and laptops. This one runs natively, it's agentless, and it can be used both offline and in the cloud. So this one basically lets you know if you have any security holes or system updates that might need to be done to harden your devices before an attack happens. And again, you can choose which policies you want to audit, like DISA, STIG, NSA, whatever you need. So we can audit every endpoint accurately every time. And Titania Pause analyzes the build configurations of your endpoints with the expertise of a skilled penetration tester. So again, this is going to save you time. And here are a few of the features that you get. Out-of-the-box auditing, so you can install this software and have a full report of every device on your network in a few minutes. Custom policies, so you could start with STIGs or something and add your own custom policies. Like maybe you want to prevent people from using the company name as their password, for example. Time-saving checks, this one's pretty self-explanatory. And of course, easy to read reporting. So let's take a look at a sample report. So again, it's pretty easy to use. You just choose your devices over here, and it'll run compliance checks against those devices depending on which policies you use. In this example, we're using a password policy, and in the middle here, and you can see all of the rules that are applied to this password policy. And you could totally customize any of this stuff to better fit your specific organization. And you can quickly see your results up here, and it gives you specific instructions on how to resolve any issues down here. It's pretty straightforward stuff. So pricing is fairly affordable. You choose the number of devices, the level and length of support, and it'll show you roughly how much that'll cost right on their website. But if you'd like a formal quote, IMPRES can help get that for you with our partner discounts included. They've also got a free tool you can run called Risk Assessment. This is similar to the Pause Studio in that it checks the client and server systems connected to your network for some basic stuff that a lot of people might be missing. It's similar to Pause, but it only runs on Windows, and it's a limited set of features, but it's free, and anyone can use it. This was a result of a self-assessment I did on my own machine, and I didn't exactly get an A+, so it looks like I've got a few things to work on myself. So when it comes to competition, there are literally thousands of companies out there that do similar pen testing type of things, but here are a few that you may have heard of. We've got Tenable.io and Tenable Nessus. These give you risk-based views of your entire attack surface, from IT to cloud to containers. And so these are more of scanners. So again, definitely something everyone should be using, but I would recommend that they also consider adding something like Titania to this toolkit. Everyone's heard of FireEye. They've got a bunch of tools, but again, in this area, they do more of scanning. The configuration validation stuff here is a little bit more manual, and you're going to be paying for some professional services. Whereas Titania is super easy, and anyone can do it without needing to pay for someone to come on site. Then we have F-Secure, which is another fairly popular set of scanning tools. And they include some other things like email security and scanning, and they actually have a pretty cool service that combines software and professional services. And another is Alien Vault. They match up pretty well with Titania. They cover compliance and threats as well, and this is actually a pretty good alternative. So you might be saying, hey, this all sounds pretty good, but is Titania really a good fit for my organization? Well, as I mentioned, most of our customers are required to have pen testing done regularly and by a third party. So they have to pay someone to come do this. These same customers are using tools like Titania to help keep their systems running securely in between those formal pen tests. And luckily, IMPRES can help you with both. We are a small business and a certified partner reseller of Titania solutions, but we also have a full staff of cybersecurity experts who can come on site and provide full service pen testing at your location if that's what you need. Our customers are also using Titania for configuration auditing, vulnerability assessments, policy compliance, and definitely security management. So I hope this was helpful, but before I let you go, I have a few questions for you to think about. One is, are you required to do pen testing? If so, how often? When is your next pen test due? And can we help you with that? When was your last penetration test and how did it go? Perhaps you have some unresolved issues that we might be able to help you with. So if you need help with any of these types of things, or if you simply would like more information about Titania or our pen test services, or really anything else, please feel free to reach out to us at sales@imprestechnology.com and let's start a conversation. Thanks for your time and have a wonderful day.